go. Game 1, best of 7. Cavs right now in complete control, and they have stunned this Garden crowd. The Brunson burner has been lit.
The run has arrived in the form of Jalen Brunson.
We go to overtime. One of the greatest comebacks in NBA playoff history. Down 22 with 7.5 to go. Knicks take game 1 behind the brilliance of Jalen Brunson.
Incredible drama off Broadway last night. 22-point comeback. One of the greatest that we've ever seen in playoff history. It was fueled by the Brunson burner. He had 24 of his 38 in the second half in overtime, 17 of those coming in that 44-11 run to end the game. A little later in this hour, Jay is going to get to the touchscreen as only he can, and he's going to break down exactly how that matchup of Brunson versus Harden wound up dominating this game. And listen,
it's like a matador.
Here's the difficulty of this, okay? And Michael, you've been doing this longer than any of us, so I'll let you have the first crack at it. One of the reasons that it takes courage to be in professional sports is that you run the risk of always being remembered for your worst moments. And I'm not going to suggest that last night Kenny Atkinson is going to always be defined by that. But at least on this day, this game is as much about Kenny Atkinson blowing it as I can ever remember. His explanation is nonsensical. The fact that he's going to lose 2 timeouts anyway, and then explains afterwards, well, I want to make sure I get to the end of the game and I still have one. It actually, there's nothing that drives you crazier as a fan than when your coach makes an explanation that you know doesn't actually suit the circumstance. So what are the right things to say about that on a morning like this?
You know, one of the things coaches always talk about for decades, and I don't care, you know, the greatest coaches ever, the neophyte coaches, they talk about putting their players in a position where they can do their best. Am I right with this? They talk about it, and they mean it. They live by it. I mean, guys, their careers rise and fall with it. At some point now, Kenny Atkinson, again, who by all accounts has been a fine coach for a while, he's going to have to deal with this, or else you lose the room. I've been in enough locker rooms. I know what happens. I'm not suggesting somebody should fire Kenny Atkinson. He had a bad game. Players have bad games. You don't get rid of people. But he's got to be accountable, and probably publicly, for this. Take the pressure off the room. Take the pressure off those guys now. You did not put them in position to win that game. As a matter of fact, you repeatedly failed to get them in position to just walk away with the game you'd already essentially won. So now what happens now? You got 48 hours, right?
Yeah.
To deal with this. And I talked to Hall of Famers last night who said, oh, no, they're done. They are done. There's no recovering from this for them. And you know what? Right now, I believe it. I mean, I had the Knicks winning this series in 5 anyway. 5, that was the 5th.
That was
it. That was the 5. And now what do you do, Jay? What does he do to get that room back?
Well, my thing is you have to be, we often at times in the media, we want players to be accountable, right? And I think the accountable thing for a head coach to do at that given time would have been to say, you know what, this is on me. Like, we had a 20-point lead. It's not on Donovan Mitchell. I don't want to hear anything about his ankle. It's not on Evan Mobley. It's not on James Harden getting targeted. That's on me to put all those players and to change up those lineups and to slow things down, considering we're a back-to-back game 7s. Back-to-back Toronto, and then the next series against Detroit. You have a 20-plus point lead. On the road, you get a chance to steal one. There's nobody else to have accountability but the head coach.
Yeah, the Cavs have played 15 playoff games. They're 8-7.
Yeah.
Okay, they are at times very good. They have a lot of talent, but they're a flawed team. They turn the ball over. They have times where they lose their momentum offensively and defensively. James Harden can be targeted defensively. Obviously, he was in a tough spot there. He could also have done better, you know. But this Cavs team is a flawed team, which means that you have to be even more on your toes as a coach. I don't like targeting head coaches. I don't like this. I'm not having fun today doing this.
Right.
But this is if the Cavs get up 1-0 in this series, they de facto become the number 1 seed. Okay? And they won in Detroit twice. They would have won in New York. Now, all of a sudden, you're up 1-0 in this series. And even whatever happens tomorrow night happens, you're in great position. And that slipped through their fingers. And that's what's, you know, I'm from Cleveland. People are very, very, very down about this. And I'm having a hard time saying something that's going to make it feel better.
I'm from New York. People are really loving it because I've had people text me like, "What a great game!" I said, "No, that wasn't a great game. That was a great finish, right, on the Knicks side of things." But it's also because, again, we saw this same thing happen last year, and what you know is the impact it can have after the next day, and of course in Game 2, because suddenly now you know you gave one away, and you can't get that game back now. And so you're now chasing that game. And for Cleveland, as you mentioned, like they already know they're not the favorite in this thing. They're chasing now a game they gave away. You can't afford to do that if you're trying to win a series against a team like the Knicks.
I just want to say one more thing to you guys, because you said it earlier, and I think it was a really big point that was kind of glossed over. How many fouls did Jalen Brunson have?
5. He had 5.
Why did Cleveland keep targeting Karl Anthony Towns?
I know, and they
pick and roll?
when they did finally get a basket, the James Harden basket with 30 seconds left, it was on Brunson.
It was on Brunson.
Again, we can't show the whole game in the highlight. We're not showing the Cavs offense. The Cavs were just as much brain death on offense as they were on defense.
So the point is there are 3 or 4 places where you can't understand what it is they were doing this late in the game. We just point out the Game 7s. They won Game 5 and 7 on the road. They won 5. They had to win Game 5 as well. And so, but there's so many places where they failed, like miserably. That's why I say paralysis.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were just out of it.
But why can't you say they ran out of gas? I just feel like
they did.
they
That
were
was
so good for 3 quarters.
That
That has to be a big factor,
You
right?
also won, Allen, not playing your best version of basketball if you're Knicks. You reverted back to what the ISO basketball was
Well, that was
last year
Jalen
with
Brunson saying, this
That's right.
offense is cute with Cat, but it's time for me to get some buckets
Alan,
right now.
here's the reason why. Because imagine your talk show this afternoon. Alan hosts the afternoon talk show on ESPN Radio in New York. If the circumstances were exactly reversed, if everything had been reversed and the Knicks didn't call a timeout and Mike Brown got up there and said, well, I was saving my timeouts for the end of the game, every single caller on your show today would have him fired before Game 2 even
Greeny, I did this show last year.
You're exactly
Literally.
right. No way suggesting that's what happened.
And they fired the coach. They fired the coach.
And then they fired the
And
coach.
they ultimately fired the coach. All right, we have more to go on this one. Again, we will get to the West. We'll get to Wembanyama and stuff. But coming up, as I promised, Jay is going to show you exactly how Jalen Brunson was able to torch the beard over and over again last night. We are loaded up. And as we head to a quick timeout, guys, take a look at the New York Post. They are knickerbonkers here in New York.
What a classic Cat photo that is.
After a ridiculous comeback. We're back in a moment. You're watching Get Up on ESPN.
We've still got 3 timeouts.
Well, I don't know if he had the same push off his leg late in the game that he did throughout the game. He was snaking to the basket.
And he
was
had
hitting
air
easy
balls,
buckets.
late.
Then all of a
Those
sudden,
2 air balls,
right,
2
air ball.
threes.
He got blocked by Towns. He was not right when whatever he did, he tweaked the ankle, whatever it was. It happened
This is
right
the
here.
play.
Right, when he lands, you can kind of see right there.
He
Comes hobbling out of it a little bit there.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
maybe
not the same.
I hear you on the tweak.
Not
Come
the
on
same
now.
after that, Jay.
Come on now. Like, I played on rolled ankles before. It hurts. But like this, Donovan Mitchell loves
To
this
not
kind of thing.
touch
Come on,
the
man.
ball.
He didn't touch the ball.
He's
now.
going up the right side, and it's
on.
like they're playing 4 against 5. And Donovan, it was so obvious. That's why we presumed injury. Donovan Mitchell does not touch the ball. He's a decoy. When you've got a game one, you've got Game 1 of the conference finals on your racket. As Alan pointed out, the Pacers changed the whole series last year by doing essentially role
The
reversal.
same exact thing.
The same exact thing in
For all
reverse.
intents and purposes.
And Cleveland just sleeps through multiple moments, many moments, multiple. You're right, coaching
The
malpractice.
Cavs have
It
4
is.
players who are $100 million contracts. Okay, if one of them is getting toasted defensively and one of them is hobbled offensively, you call timeout and you design a play for one of the other players where you have a matchup advantage. That's what you do.
For the record, the Cavs finished the game with 2 timeouts remaining, and I looked into it. They don't get to take those into Game 2 with
They don't
them.
roll over?
By the way, the Tyrese Halliburton game was 364 days ago. Wow. So basically, exactly a year later, the tables turn. Sometimes you don't find the year finds you. We have much more to do on this. We're taking a 2-minute break.